mistakes. Always look back and see what you could have done better, what you were planning on doing, and what succeeded, what worked, and what didn't. Always look back at your games, review, and learn. The secret to chess is not moving, by the way. That is one of the little known secrets. Not moving, more thinking. See everything about your possible destination before you move.
It's really all about your diet. You know, you are what you study. And if you study great players, you play great chess.
If they're attacking your rooks, threaten a queen. If they're attacking your queen, threaten checkmate and pawn. And in all cases, you can counterattack with check as an in-between move. Counterattack, the #1 tool, recommended by grandmasters.
Regularly playing blitz with Hikaru Nakamura, or regularly playing blitz with someone who literally shows you glaringly what you're doing wrong, like that. There is no substitute for the old-fashioned, just getting slapped across the face when you make a mistake. Just no substitute.
A certain comfort zone soar toward playing correctly, grabbing space, an equal amount of space, having equal chances to win, not letting yourself fall behind in any manner, way, shape, or form by gambiting a pawn unsoundly, like in the Stafford Gambit, but simply playing good chess. The problem is that right now, I believe that Ron is the better player, and nothing's going to change that. The only person that can change that is right here. If you honestly put anyone on a pedestal, then you're already going to have an experience. You're going to have some difficult experiences against opponents. If you put anyone on a pedestal, then you might as well just hang it up, because you're not going to be able to beat them. You have to take the bull by the horns, find their faults. They are human like anyone else. And that's all you have to do, is raise yourself up. There are so many people out there who are studying openings instead of learning how to win the game. In other words, if you are studying the London or any opening variation, how much will that really reward you toward winning a game versus learning specific strategic methods, maneuvers, plays, or honing your endgame skills toward pocketing further points and thereby gaining rating points?
I couldn't just play what I wanted to play in a position. I had to play what the position dictated. In other words, if a plan was organic to the position, it succeeded. But if I try to force my will, let's just say like the 4-move checkmate, then it cannot possibly succeed
After the death of Tigran the Trojan. And on that particular Sunday, a young man walked into my establishment and told me that the world champion was dead. It was a Sunday morning. The Sunday morning Herald had the article in it, which he showed me, and I was so shocked. And I asked him, how are you so interested in chess? And he said that his father was the champion of the Berkeley, UC, California chess club. And that morning, I began playing him for 25 sets a game. And if he won, he would get the whole roll of quarters, which would be $10. And after about 3 games, I decided I had had enough, and this could not last. And I said, why don't I just teach you how to play the game? At the end of the week, he came back and he said, either my father is not telling the truth, or Berkeley had a really terrible chess club. I cannot recommend Chess Informant publications highly enough. Despite the nature of the modern era with computing and ChessBase, you can actually receive a digital copy along with your subscription to Chess Informant, and receive the benefit of all worlds. And of course, if you invest in other chess informant products, such as the 1000 best of the best, you'll be able to pick apart the annotations of the 1960s and improve your chess in that manner. Not sure how he's defending it now. I don't think he can defend it now. This is not good. There's even more where that came from. Maybe we could have berserked. Do not berserk. Never, ever, ever berserk. Our goal is that everyone should have an opportunity to become a better player. That is far more important than any individual win for rating points. Because honestly, when you are a certain strength, the rating points just come and go. If you have a bad day, your rating returns to your true strength on the very next day. So there's no reason, absolutely no reason for anyone to be fretting over rating points or anyone getting help on any particular move when this is meant purely and entirely for training for actual real life events. You have to start at the beginning. Basically, you're going for an AP class in chess when you study Kasparov or Magnus. And if you've not passed all of your primary school classes, your fundamentals, your absolute basics, which are Lasker, Capablanca, Morphy, Alekhine, then it becomes very difficult to jump into science at a higher level. Aim higher. Set your standards higher. Be better. I mean, you're aiming at a level of player that is more or less intermediate. I already made this comment earlier that players under 2400 are intermediate. So if you aim higher, aim at becoming a better player. Basically, Gotham Chess is an advanced intermediate player. He is hoping to become a grandmaster for a reason, because then he will be a real player. I would only hope to do the same thing myself, as my rating is even lower and weaker. I'm not as good as Gotham Chess yet. I am a hop, skip, and a jump above beginner.
And of course, the old discovered mate, I would actually like to call this the Reti mate, right? Where he sacked his queen on d8 and played bishop to g5 and bishop to d8 when the king ran to c7, as there were pawns here, rook on this square, knight on that square. So the Richard Reti mate followed by the
Piece coordination on a daily basis is always going to benefit you.
crossing my fingers that this is a pawn mate. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I wanted the pawn mate, and it let me down.
Arsenal fan Richie said, "Those bishops are pretty respectable."
They are, aren't they? Where are you going now? and I get a full book out of this mess because we set up
Nope,
this
not an opening mistake.
little trap. You have to start at the beginning. Basically, you're going for an AP class in chess when you study Kasparov or Magnus. And if you've not passed all of your primary school classes, your fundamentals, your absolute basics, which are Lasker, Capablanca,
Tal is gone
Morphy, Alekhine, then it becomes very difficult to jump into science at a higher level. Studying the game in its entirety is the way to go. You have to develop all parts of your game equally in order to increase in strength, because opponents are going to be weak in various areas of the game, and if you can win 2 out of 3 of the areas of the game, then like on American Idol or any of those voting survivor shows, you will move on to the next phase.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, grasshoppers. Getting the invitation sent out for these events. It should show up here, right over here, unless you're a member of too many teams, which is always possible. The hourly chess 960 arena, 5-0. That's very tempting. Very, very tempting. If you're a member of Lead Chess 960, I apparently am a member of Lead Chess 960. So it begins at 7 a.m. and it lasts for 1 hour. I won't be able to do that one, unfortunately. We already have a scheduled event. Paul 1E4, good morning. You know, I found a major hitch. The major hitch is that I did have Asa Hoffman's birthday. I did have several of those birthdays, but for some reason, even though I had filed them away into the appropriate folders, and by that I mean when I get them from you, I put them into a notable players folder that is general, and then there are subfolders by month. So interestingly enough, I was fairly certain that I had a couple of those. I can't remember which besides Asa Hoffman. But then I go to it and I find out that I have filed them away into the subfolders without having added them to the actual calendar. But I am ready when you are. I will bring up my notepad here, because I have more or less done all of the ones you sent me previously, including Antonio Padron. I found him as Antonio Padron, Chess Sharks, a.k.a. Tony Padron. How are you doing, Paul? Good to see you, buddy. You are so on it. I'm not joining the Chess 960. Not yet. But I was just mentioning that the Blitz Arena, the monthly Blitz Arena, begins in 5 hours. Can I even participate in that? At noon for 4 hours? Oh my gosh. Is that possible? At noon for 4 hours on a Wednesday? I guess it's possible. It's definitely possible. Let's put ourselves into the mix for that one. We'll might stream the monthly Blitz Arena. Holy cow. Let me know when you're finished. I'm going to copy all 4 at a time. I do not recognize any of those. So I am certain that I don't actually have some of those. That's amazing. So what I usually do, and I'm not sure if you're accidentally doing the same thing. I hope you're not going too far out of your way to catch all of these birthdays. Number one, I usually scour Wikipedia, and I follow every Wikipedia footnote when I am on a tear for finding birthdays. And from that point on, when I am, oh, that's all 5 of them? Very good. Thank you so much, Paul. You are amazing. Have to give you some major hearts. I should be able to copy all 5 just like that. I will put them somewhere down because it's a new birthday notepad since I cleared the previous one. Vilkas. Subila. Very cool. Oh, nice. So yeah, when I have a recent event, like say like the World Cup was a field day. Whenever I was watching someone, I agree, I would look them up in general. And so when I look them up, because I have all of them already bookmarked into a notable players folder, the moment any page comes up where I have them bookmarked, especially the one that might originally reference them, which is the main source, the Wikipedia page, then the star is already lit up that I have them when I'm watching a. So we have the Jesse February birthday Blitz Arena beginning in 6 minutes. Oh, I lost horribly at Blitz at billiards last night, but the team won. I managed to keep it together enough that I didn't lose so badly in a one particular match. Could have been a disaster had we lost the pairing the right way. But ultimately, I got shut out in the second game by an opponent. Pascal just clobbered me. And I didn't play very well either. I started the whole evening with a break and run. It was a little sloppy, but I started the whole evening breaking, running out, marking up the 9 ball, and I should have taken a break and walked around the block and come back in and played a whole new set after that, because I did not play very well after that. It was almost as though I spent myself. So I've got a new puzzle streak theory. What is your high in puzzle streak, Paul? Have you tried this? I'm very curious. Ah, there we go. It looks like it should be a skewer through. A skewer through. I wanted to play queen to d4. Where is Jessie, right? She has been missing in action. I haven't seen her streaming in a while either. I've looked up quite a few. Jules Gambit, Jesse February. That is a great score, sir.
Vihan WQO said, "Can I play you?"
Dehan, yes, you may. We are just now starting our Blitz Arena in minutes. You get to join the Blitz Arena dojo in just a moment. I wonder if I can paste what I did. Oh no. I cannot paste what I did. But I can pin this one to the stream. That much I can do. Join our Blitz events.
Vihan WQO said, "Ok."
Hawk? Hawk. Are we up on YouTube? We are. That is good. I was slightly worried that we were, there it is. Pin message. I need to reload the Twitch channel. There it is. "30 minutes? Sure. So in any event, what do we have here? Looks like it's checkmate in 1, 2, 3 with a pawn, no less. With a pawn, no less. I really want to save that one with the pawn. I really do want to save that one with the pawn.
Vihan WQO said, "I love our videos."
Aw, thank you, Vahan. I do put a certain amount of effort into those, especially the instructional videos. This one, I'm just happy to be sharing the journey. Did the opponent find it? Now, this is the question. Oh, actually, I should do it in this window, right? I like to find out if they did it in this window. So they did not find it. Ah, like this is usually a low-rated player problem, wherein they do not look at what's coming next. They just don't. Which is both unfortunate and normal at the same time. Checkmate is now unavoidable. King to d2 is best. And then after this, white is winning. That is a sad state of affairs. And of course, white did not find it. And black did not find it. Wow. King h6. So white does seem to find it. Oh no, white doesn't find it. Oh, you have to just play rook a5 because of check, check, and checkmate. But you're just going to try to do the same thing this way. And the opponent doesn't find it. How many double question marks in a row can we get? So what was happening here? D1 equals queen. Rook takes h7, king g8, rook g7. Oh, and there's no rook to g4 check. Got it. That is very cool. Very, very cool. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled arena where Vihan should be joining us. And hopefully, after KB05 is done with King Bishop 5, is done with Ron Hay, we might get a match with Nopri Capri if my rating were not so low. That's correct. If my rating were not so low. All right, Ron Hay in the mix. Chasuble Holden. Let's give it an Alakine today. We're not going to mix our systems this time so much. We are not going to mix our systems. We may get some annoying randomness out of it, but we're not going to mix our systems too much. I feel like I might have lost just now. I do think I might have lost the pizza just now. Moment of truth. Here, there. And everywhere. So now, can I survive this? I don't know. Doesn't look survivable at all. Does not look survivable. There's no way I'm surviving this. Not a chance. How's that for optimism? Here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. All right, I'll bite. I will bite. Bummer. Lost the pizza. I did lose pizza. We're just going to run for the hills and pretend like this didn't happen. We are. We're going to try to run for the hills and pretend like this didn't happen. I have a single pawn for this. Still not good, though. Still not good. Interesting. Can I get out of this mess at all? Can I get out of this mess at all? No, huh? Takes. Silly. Yeah. See what we can get out of this mess. If it's at all possible. You're a check, there a check. Everywhere a check, check. I'm in such trouble. This is not a threat. This is not a threat. Okay, this might be a threat. This might be a threat. I'm along for the ride here. Check. That's checkmate. Or is it? Maybe it's not checkmate. Mm-hmm. Nicely done, Ron. Ron always has my number. And we're off. Oh, I needed to return that last one. What are we doing here? We're still on. All right, Ram, bloody genius. I knew the moment I did what I did, I would be able to. That was crazy, sir. I can't believe you did that to yourself. Right? Can you believe he did that to himself? I feel like we've played this game before. We have played this game before. Just like this, in fact. I'm curious. Maybe that's not the best move. Yes. Do I want to go in that direction? Here, check, there, check, everywhere, check, check. It didn't even start going after his stuff. But he did have bishop takes c4 instead of rook d8. That was somewhat bothersome. That was very kind of him. That was craziness that it was so kind of him. The weakness on the dark squares is just what Alakine ordered here. Check, 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 check. We have 35 seconds to enjoy the moment. "35 seconds to enjoy the moment." All right, staying as well close to Ron as we can. Let's get or return a message here. All right. Hopefully that was taken care of. All right, Ron. I'm on a bad cycle with Ron. He's got to get a very different schedule up. Let's see if we can incur any form of weaknesses. Any form of weaknesses. Let's just keep bothering him. Keep bothering him. Interesting. Very tempted. Very, very tempted. I was very tempted. Ah! It doesn't do anything, folks. It doesn't do anything after I lose my bishop. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't do anything after I lose my bishop. So here, check, there, check, everywhere, check, check. How could I play so carelessly against Ron? All right, I know the answer to that question. But still, how can I play so carelessly against Ron? Well, this is starting to be interesting. So we have two minor pieces at least now for the rook. For what it is worth. But it's something my spidey sense tells me that the bishop is more worthwhile than the rook, right? Everybody get that message? It's very sad that the bishop is worth more. Yes, yes. I do know that. For what it's worth. Got a whole lot of nothing here. A whole lot of nothing. Sure. I still have a whole lot of nothing. All right, let's just pretend like we're getting somewhere. We'll pretend as though we are getting somewhere with this. Ah, Ron, you're so mean. You are so mean, sir. He's got a very dramatic move here. Don't even know why I am entertaining this thought. There's no thought to be entertained, actually. Please toy with me. Toy with your food, Ron. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, using the voice Discord channel, as Jerry Goose wanted me to do, probably is the shot. We've not really utilized the voice Discord channels enough. Far, far, far from enough. Uh-oh, this app is currently popped out in another window. What app is this? Oh, of course it is. New artist drops. I don't know if I trust any of those. We will shuffle our normal soundtrack. If that's at all possible. Let's just stand 3-4 with E5. Let's see what KB, King to Bishop 5 is all about. Should we play the Berlin? Let's see what it's all about, folks. Oh, he's going to play this way. That's fine. This is, in theory, the best way to play the Berlin. Gotta fix our target. Ruh-roh. This could cost him one or more pawns. Gotta get all of my stuff out. And now And now, are we up a pawn? We're up a pawn. And we're up a protected passed pawn because our opponent allowed this. Let's just save the one pawn. Saving the one pawn. Saving the one pawn. Might lose that pawn. Whoa. Dudovich. Is he trying to make a little bit of a fuel out of me? Let's keep him at bay. It's true. Weak pawns on both sides of the board. For one moment, I thought I had... For one moment in time, I thought that I had berserked against him. So now I can't do it. But now, while he is on that side of the board, not sure where you were planning to go there. So now, d4 takes... Let's just work it out. d3, d2, d1. All right, let's go for it. What is the worst that could happen? We might have to take on b4. Oh no, this will not work, sir. This, sir, is a bad idea. We approach on the opposite colors. Always on the opposite colors. Always on the opposite colors. Just like this. We approach just like this. Always on the opposite colors. We gotta walk over to G3 now. Yep. Grandmaster Dmitry Gurevich had once told Grandmaster Joel Benjamin, when he first arrived in the United States, or shortly after he was settling into the United States, I believe was the time frame, that queen versus knight was a very tricky endgame. Was the trickiest of the single-piece endgames. I don't know if he was trying to dirty flag me. With increment even, right? With increment, no less. That was quite useful. So I've been trying to develop a theory, Paul. Maybe you can help me with this. And it's possibly true. I'm trying to equate Puzzle Street high scores to rating levels. So certainly I've noticed that players under 1,000 can barely get to 10. Does that seem feasible, right? Certainly players under 1,000. Well, we're not going to use ourselves as any sort of benchmark here, are we? So players under 1,000, right, can barely make it to 10. Now, can players under 1,200 barely make it to? Let's go by, I don't think that you're really under 1,500. I really don't. I think you're about 1,800. You're about 17, based on what I've seen. But I'm like trying to find the threshold for the development of players. That could be useful. But I can't quite come up with it. I actually had this as a dream the other morning. I mentioned yesterday morning that I had a Puzzle Street dream. And being able to field all types of themes without regard to what's going on is a key component. I'm going to go this way just in case I get it out. I should be toast here. I should absolutely be toast here. Oh, they didn't go for it. Queen to h4 check did not go for it. Yes, yes, yes. That's very annoying. Speaking of Puzzle Streak, what am I doing here, Paul? Find the pin. King f1, knight g3 check, and bishop takes d3. I just had such a loose position. It's craziness. Why didn't I play g3 again? Knight takes g3, h takes g3. I don't know why I
Ollie
didn't take.
said, Big John.
Good morning, Oli. How are you, bud? Mr. World of Tanks. I'm going to call it a day on that one. Drelcor got me. I have to hope that I get somebody more worthy of my
Ollie
speed.
said, THX for the shout out.
Oh, no worries. All right. We're going to try it. Nguyen Quang Nam from Vietnam. Nguyen. Nguyen.
Ollie said, THX I am fine, hope you too.
Oh, I couldn't get there from here? That's too bad. Is that how you're going to play? I guess you are.
Ollie said, the
Really?
Vietnam War was fought in and around Vietnam from around 1955 to 1975. The main warring parties were North Vietnam and the National Front for the Liberation of South Vietnam, also known as the Viet Cong, on one side and the United States and South Vietnam on the other.
He could have waited one move. Had he waited one move.
Ollie said, my dad wanted to go to Vietnam but my mom was pregnant with me, so the family said no.
Ooh, that might have been a Rosen trophy. That might have been a Rosen trophy. Unfortunately, we didn't get full credit for it. C'est la vie. All that work, right? All that amazing work. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't go to Vietnam. I'm glad he didn't go to Vietnam. That was a nightmare war. We were out of our depth. Out of our depth in that one.
Ollie said he really wanted to because he would have earned 20 times as much, but his family forbade it.
Yeah, 20 times as much, but a 1 in 20 shot of making a year's salary. Right? It's just craziness. Nicely done, sir. Where are you from? From Armenia, of course. Holy Corpola, look at this guy's strength. Welcome to the dojo, Mizar.
Want to 1v1?
I am... You know, I actually have a reel set up for this exact thing.
Kwiku, thanks for following.
Namaste. Mostly I do structural. I do 1 versus 1 on the weekends, not necessarily in the middle of these events. But let's get the dojo notification out. And we'll actually move on to our next event. We have scheduled, structured arenas that are somewhat key to my health and well-being, to be honest. I'm not sure why we have that odd comma there, right? What an odd comma. I don't think it works out well on all devices. So there used to be a cross. Would that save some time? Would this whole thing fit on a mobile phone screen? If that's the story. So we have our birthday calendar. Let's just check our stuff. Oh, I do not have the rapids in. Do I? I have them only in on the weekends. That's unfortunate. The holiday bullet. I need to change it to every day now. That happened recently. Today on the 28th, we've got Jesse February. Quite a number of other players. If you click on, I think last year I did Alan Alda. The year before that, I definitely did Ferdinand Hillis because I know Ferdinand. Sagar Shah. Oh, I chose Jesse February over Sagar Shah. Can you believe it? And tomorrow, Liang Chong. That feels like one that Paul 184 might have given me. Ray Keane, loved by all authors of chess. Ray Keane. I could be a little bit sarcastic there. And of course, we start our birthday series on the 30th with Boris Spassky. Ju and John, I believe, is on the 31st. And then we move onwards. So let's head back, make sure that we're in this one. We're also going to post the copy URL.
Pegasus Sway said, "Wow, hard new today." Numvi, thanks for following.
Namaste. It really starts in 20 minutes? That's crazy. There's no way. Streaming YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. I think it really is in 15 minutes. Copy. Send it up. Let's get back to our puzzle streak while we're at it. We're at 22. This is one of my favorites, of course, the pawn promotion with skewer. So this one, I tend to think of it as a removing the defender. We're removing the defender of the E3 square to set up the fork. But obviously this is a tactical combination where there are several things going on.
Pegasus Sway said, "No stream on Strava."
No stream on Strava. Uh-oh. Don't tempt me, Ron. Don't tempt me. He is tempting me. No stream on Strava. Wait just a moment. The message is already pinned. Do we have an admin hiding around here? Message is already pinned. That's craziness. Is he stopping me? This does look like it should be clobbering here. What a quiet move. That would stop me from checkmating him. That much is true. 26. Moment of truth. Answering checks with checks. One of the favorite young students' questions, right? Answering questions, answering checks with checks. Overworked piece, aka removing the defender. All right, moment of truth. Looks like it's a simple 2-check, right? We just need the king on a square where we can move this rook with check, and then it's a discovered attack. Not a discovered check, but a discovered attack. Now, this is one of the oldest tricks, being able to do something like this. But guess it is still a fork. It's absolutely still a fork. It's a full rook. Full rook. Full rook. Full rook. Mm-hmm. What does it do to me? What does it do to me? All right, finally a blank. What do we got here, folks? 95 is our high score, maybe 94. That took some diligent perseverance. What is the highest puzzle streak score ever recorded, or recorded that we know of? People are always doing puzzle rush and Puzzle Storm and Puzzle Jettison.
Pegasus Sway said, NC5 then unsought.
Oh, it's a little less dramatic than I thought. Thank you, Ron. Absolutely. I would have come to that one eventually, it's true. But he hurried the stream along nicely. Basically, did I have a blind spot there? I think I was overly focusing on the king. I was trying to get at the king. I didn't really want to leave that weakness. I wanted to leave that weakness alone. So these are often tricky. Obviously, this would be a disaster. This would be a disaster. So that leaves only king to b1. And I guess that was all they had. Check, check, check. Check, check takes. Now we just have to make sure we don't have more, like threatening mate, and then taking the bishop. Looking at checks, threats, and captures first. All part of the norm. So if we try to desperado, I believe if we're good at desperado, we can't allow him to take a rook when we take the bishop, so we have to take a rook. And then we can take the queens. Oh. You're going to play like that, are you? One of my original favorite pawn promotion tactics. Takes check. Or we can just threaten mate. All right, let's make sure there's nothing here. There is something there on occasion. We can't let it go. Let it go. Got this check. Taking a rook. We'll always look for something better, folks. Always look for something better. Never settle. Our good old-fashioned skewers, yeah? Of course, it's queen takes rook if I trade rooks first. So bishop, rook, queen, rook. He doesn't get enough material. All right, let's just show that I am not playing very well lately. The old seesaw tactic or mill. Does anybody have an opinion on that one? Whether it's a seesaw or a mill. A teeter-totter? I always thought it was one of those rocker type things. How rude. How rude. Doesn't seem right. Much simpler. We are on number 8, by the way. It's got to be easier than this, right? One would imagine that it should be easier than this. On occasion, it's just the trapping of the queen. Interesting. Because it's number 8, I'm sure that it's going to be answered by rook c2, rook takes c2, and queen to e2. But what happens if the king comes up? That is the question. Right? Why would this be so difficult? Why? 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 As Ron would put it. All right. I can't get Strava out of my mind now that Ron has mentioned it. Strava is just running, cycling, and hiking. Aha! How to make a Strava video. Strava video sharing. Exporting Strava videos. I think we've discovered something that Ron does.
That's disgusting.
Be right back after breakfast. That was a badly timed for Paul's breakfast. Well, the Nordic countries are very well known for their hiking and outdoorsiness on many levels. All right, we'll continue the Strava streaming later. I just don't get it. Well, we can't let him play rook to c7. That could be fatal, right? We cannot let him play rook to c7. So, yeah, this one is disgusting. And I knew that it was going to help me out here. I'm glad that we don't have auto next chosen, because I wanted to see what was the real deal after the king just steps up. Is it just checkmate? I guess so. There's nothing here. We're threatening checkmate on several levels. Rook to c8. Queen to d2. And he can only defer it for a couple of moves. Fair enough. But that was a very complicated one for this early in the game. Like, if that was number 8 for everyone, I don't think any average person could get number 8. It's mate with a reverse knight move. I like that one a lot. I would hope that that one was found. They may as well have tried to see if I would find bishop to f8. Which in a real game is still a little bit of an iffy cause. There's a nice smothered mate. And of course, style points. Style points for a bishop mate. We should just play rook to d8. But let's just check. Make sure that there's nothing else going on here. Rook takes. Fair enough. Didn't realize he was up a rook. We could try to go for the skewer. That could have been trickier. Rook takes d4, rook takes d4, and then mate. Got it. So basically, queen to g3 is mate. They didn't test us on it. They did not test us on it. We have two things going for the slice and dice. Two things going for the slice and dice. Is there really no stopping this? Because it's attacking the queen at the same time. I see, said the blind man. King back to g1, of course, is mated, but we're in the square of the pawn. Removing the defender. People don't want to trade queens a lot of the time. Look for a better one that belongs in that category. Well, isn't this special? Pawn takes pawn. There's still nothing with rook g3, right? Oh, we have to get back to our... And of course I didn't go get coffee. Arg. I did not go and get coffee. All right. This could be a job for coffee. And it's... Training now. Replace pinned message. Replace pinned message. All right. Did we put up the coffee? I don't think coffee appears as often as it should. Need that coffee emote. I'm using the Don Naroditsky coffee emote. I don't see the Don Naroditsky coffee emote. Oh, there it is. Denaro coffee. We'll be right back.
The secret to chess is not moving, by the way. That is one of the little known secrets. Not moving, more thinking. See everything about your possible destination before you move. Always look back and see what you could have done better, what you were planning on doing, and what succeeded, what worked, and what didn't. Always look back at your games, review, and learn. Studying the game in its entirety is the way to go. You have to develop all parts of your game equally in order to increase in strength, because opponents are going to be weak in various areas of the game, and if you can win 2 out of 3 of the areas of the game, then like on American Idol or any of those voting survivor shows, you will move on to the next phase. If they're attacking your rooks, threaten a queen. If they're attacking your queen, threaten checkmate and pawn. And in all cases, you can counterattack with check as an in-between move. Counterattack, the #1 tool, recommended by grandmasters.
It's really all about your diet. You know, you are what you study. And if you study great players, you play great chess. Playing Blitz with Hikaru Nakamura, or regularly playing Blitz with someone who literally shows you glaringly what you're doing wrong, like that. There is no substitute for the old-fashioned, you know, just getting slapped across the face when you make a mistake. Just no substitute.
The problem is that right now, I believe that Ron is the better player, and nothing's going to change that. The only person that can change that is right here. If you honestly put anyone on a pedestal, then you're already going to have an experience. You're going to have some difficult experiences against opponents. If you put anyone on a pedestal, then you might as well just hang it up, because you're not going to be able to beat them. You have to take the bull by the horns, find their faults. They are human like anyone else. And that's all you have to do, is raise yourself up. A certain comfort zone soar toward playing correctly, grabbing space, an equal amount of space, having equal chances to win, not letting yourself fall behind in any manner, way, shape, or form by gambiting a pawn unsoundly, like in the Stafford Gambit, but simply playing good chess. So many people out there who are studying openings instead of learning how to win the game. In other words, if you are studying the London or any opening variation, how much will that really reward you toward winning a game versus learning specific strategic methods, maneuvers, plays, or honing your endgame skills toward pocketing further points and thereby gaining rating points. I cannot recommend Chess Informant publications highly enough. Despite the nature of the modern era with computing and Chessbase, you can actually receive a digital copy along with your subscription to Chess Informant and receive the benefit of all worlds. And of course, if you invest in other Chess Informant products, such as the 1000 Best of the Best, you'll be able to pick apart the annotations of the 1960s and improve your chess in that manner.
I couldn't just play what I wanted to play in a position. I had to play what the position dictated. In other words, if a plan was organic to the position, it succeeded. But if I try to force my will, let's just say like the 4-move checkmate, then it cannot possibly succeed against
After the death of Igor the Trojan. And on that particular Sunday, a young man walked into my establishment and told me that the world champion was dead. It was a Sunday morning. The Sunday morning Herald had the article in it, which he showed me, and I was so shocked. And I asked him, how are you so interested in chess? And he said that his father was the champion at the Berkeley, UC, California chess club. And that morning, I began playing him for 25 cents a game. And if he won, he would get the whole roll of quarters, which would be $10. And after about 3 games, I decided I had had enough, and this could not last. And I said, why don't I just teach you how to play the game? At the end of the week, he came back and he said, either my father is not telling the truth, or Berkeley had a really terrible chess. Aim higher. Set your standards higher. Be better. I mean, you're aiming at a level of player that is more or less intermediate. I already made this comment earlier that players under 2400 are intermediate. So if you aim higher, aim at becoming a better player. Basically, Gotham Chess is an advanced intermediate player. He is hoping to become a grandmaster for a reason, because then he will be a real player. I would only hope to do the same thing myself, as my rating is even lower and weaker. I'm not as good as Gotham Chess yet. I am a hop, skip, and a jump above beginner. Our goal is that everyone should have an opportunity to become a better player. That is far more important than any individual win for rating points, because honestly, when you are a certain strength, the rating points just come and go. If you have a bad day, your rating returns to your true strength on the very next day. So there's no reason, absolutely no reason for anyone to be fretting over rating points or anyone getting help on any particular move, when this is meant purely and entirely for training for actual real life events. Not sure how he's defending it now. I don't think he can defend it now. This is not good. There's even more where that came from. Maybe we could have berserked. Do not berserk. Never, ever, ever berserk.
And of course, the old discovered mate. I would actually like to call this the Reti mate, right? Where he sacked his queen on d8 and played bishop to g5 and bishop to d8 when the king ran to c7, as there were pawns here, rook on this square, knight on that square. So the Richard Reti mate followed by
Start at the beginning. Basically, you're going for an AP class in chess when you study Kasparov or Magnus. And if you've not passed all of your primary school classes, your fundamentals, your absolute basics, which are Lasker, Capablanca, Morphy, Alekhine, then it becomes very difficult to jump into science at a higher level. Piece coordination on a daily basis is always going to benefit you.
Arsenal fan Richie said, those bishops are pretty respectable.
They are, aren't they? Where are you? going now.
A. Thanks for following.
Well, he took up the challenge. My mic was muted. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, grasshoppers. Let's do this. Gonna do our best, do our best, do our best. Might have gotten away with something here. Alrighty. Ready. We're not staying up a pawn, it seems. Not staying up a pawn, it seems. Can I get away with this? Here, check, there, check, everywhere, check, check. Silly me. No! I was just enjoying that position too much to forget that we berserked Ron. Hannah, welcome back. No sense of danger whatsoever. Alright, so I played a Caro-Kann. Totally by accident. I meant to berserk against Candle. I really did. Let's tickle his accoutrements. I'm not really threatening anything, by the way, because a bishop to b5 check, but it does look good. It does look good to try to threaten. That's what we're threatening. Not that we're threatening anything. Interesting. Let's just try to make the most out of this. Lemonade, anyone? Somehow I knew he might try that. You know that? I really did think that he would try that. Yeah, I was very lucky. Sorry, Kendall. Like a candle in the wind. She doesn't know theory. That's one way of putting it, Paul. Unfortunately, I'm far more cruel. Not knowing theory is the same as not knowing how the pieces move. And all of my core lessons in training, I know you and I at one time analyzed your tournament games that you had had, but personally, there are so many holes in the structure of a player's game that it's better to start from the ground up on an assumption of no knowledge. And one of my favorite billiards players in the world, George Sansucci, Sansouci, George Sansucci, good friend of mine, no longer with us. When he was giving me a lesson, I would say, yes, I know that. And he would say, no, you don't know that. Because if you did know that, you would be a much, much, much stronger player. And then he clarified that I am acquainted with things in the game, but I do not actually know it. Oh, all right. I guess we've started something here, Ron. Oh, you're going to do that to me? Fine. Interesting. Interesting. Just keeps getting more and more interesting, but I'm not sure what that one was all about. Ah, yes. I know what you want. What in the world are you doing here, sir? Is there a discovered check that bothers me more? Yeah. Am I mated? No, I'm not mated. But it does look scary. Wait a minute. You're really threatening me with mate? Oh, you're such a... Ron. So mean, sir. This could well do it, too. He could actually checkmate me. But let's see it. A discovered check. All right, now we're talking. Now we are talking. It was a little sketchy there for a moment. At least this time he won. I can't believe that I didn't win. I was horsing around too much, enjoying the position, and I lose on time to Ron. And now he's up to 878, I think. 878 encounters. Maybe 887. Gonna play the real Scandinavian, by the way. No, you played Bishop F3, Candle. Bishop F3. I don't get the full Berserk points when they resign in 10 moves or less. Especially when they resign when it's not really resignable. All right, let's do it again. Moment of truth. What do I wish to do? All right, we're going to do it that way. I'm going to give it a B3. Pure berserking fashion. Pure berserking fashion. Oh, fine. Oh, fine. That's interesting. 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 Ron is on such a tear. Midar Huldaver disappeared on me. Nicely done. That's what I like to see here. I like to hear the uplifting swindle stories. Yes, when we are facing imminent death, but imminent death passes our door. That's to stop me from castling. That was that one, yes. Now, I thought I had time stamps here. What's going on in the speech chat? Oh, it's not picking up the kick. Got it. But I do have the timestamps over there. So I'm only a couple minutes late on the, Yeah, Ron always wants to stop me from casting. All right, we're going to play a normal game here. I don't know why I answered with knight f6. I can't afford to answer with knight f6. I know, I usually should play the,
Cube for tutorial. Said, how long do you play chess? I heard you're really experienced.
I have played chess since before I was born. Ah, yes. Solving this problem here. How about you, Cube, for tutorial? How long have you played chess for? And now do we get it? Yes, we do. And now do we get it? Interesting, 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 interesting. How are we getting there from here? It's interesting
tutorial.
nonetheless.
Said, I played chess after school.
I got you. All right, fine. We have to go for it. He's going for it. I'm going for it. He's going for it. So now if I take and he takes, really? Where are you from, Cube for tutorial? We do need to do this all day long. We really do. We really do. We really do. We really do. I really do. I really do. Oh. Am I getting anything out of this if I even play this way? So... check.
Cube for tutorial. Said. In Asia around Thailand, Singapore.
Looks like it's creating enough of a threat. You're a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. Looks like it should be working. At least I got one nick in on Ron's keychain today. And I do have to go in 2 minutes. God help me. Gotta get the whippersnapper to school.
Cube for tutorial. Said.
Yeah.
Interesting position.
I have decided that I am going to become a tactician. People enjoy tacticians. Right? Not just any tactician. I'm going to be a legendary tactician. Legend. Wait for it. Unless you're lactose intolerant. Nobody else can catch me, so it doesn't matter if this ends during the arena on our permanent record. Hopefully Ron is still there.
Cube for tutorial. Said. Yes, most tactics are arts of chess.
You may find me on all of the socials. You may find me on all of the socials. And of course, if you subscribe to the YouTube, that is the most valuable thing. I have to change that with the official Master Chess Dojo name, because I remember when we got just enough subscribers to be able to do it. Here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. Namaste, Ron. I had to get one good one in. And hopefully, our friends at Tata Steel are in place. Or do we raid someone else? No, we're gonna raid our friends. I must run. Thank you all so much for being here. Cheers and ciao. I will be back with the monthly blitz this afternoon at noon.
Congrats.
It's going to be terrific. Thank you so much, Paul. Yeah, I finished in a solid second. Ron Hayes, the beast of a day. I've been there occasionally, but not often enough.
Bye.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for all the birthdays. I appreciate it, buddy. Talk to you soon. Cheers and ciao, everyone. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for being here, Cube. Namvi A. Thank you for the YouTube subs. Cheers and ciao. All right, let's go. Take my phone. Have a great day, everyone.